Thought for the day. Gratitude sweetens even the smallest moments.
Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being.
In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we dive into the science behind the art of gratitude. Have a listen.
I've been thinking about gratitude, why we feel it, why it's good for us, and perhaps most mysterious of all, how it manifests in the brain. Here's what I've figured out. Gratitude is, in essence, a positive feeling that's experienced in response to receiving kindness or assistance from another entity. We feel appreciation for the generosity of others, and it makes us feel good. While gratitude might sound like kind of a weird thing to try and study scientifically, there are actually entire research centers working on understanding how being appreciative affects our brains and our mental health. The Positive Psychology Center at the University of Pennsylvania and the Greater Good Science Center at the University of California, Berkeley are both places that support research on happiness, compassion, and gratitude, among other things. Broadly, they're interested in better understanding how to protect and foster human well-being. The findings from these institutions and others in the last couple of decades have begun to provide some interesting pictures of how and why gratitude is good for us, individually and collectively. Psychologically, gratitude is associated with an increased sense of well-being. People who maintain a sense of gratitude report a whole bunch of positive emotions, like feeling less stressed, less depressed, and having stronger relationships. Grateful people also tend to be more resilient to trauma. Some of this is probably linked to coping strategies. Grateful people tend to use more positive coping strategies when they encounter difficulties in life, like getting support from other people, growing from their experiences, reframing their challenges, and working out plans to address obstacles. On the flip side, they're less likely to use negative coping strategies, like denying there's a problem, abusing substances, or blaming themselves. But it can be kind of hard to know how exactly gratitude is having these positive effects on an individual's life. Like, maybe if a person is already less stressed or sleeps better, they're more able to feel grateful about their current circumstances. On paper, it could end up looking like gratitude is good for sleep or stress levels, when it's really the other way around. So researchers had to actually create situations where some volunteers were forced to think grateful thoughts, while other control volunteers were not. In one study from the early 2000s, a group of American college students were asked to keep a gratitude journal where they wrote about things they were grateful for, while other students wrote about less positive emotions, like the things that annoyed them. The results showed that just writing about things they were grateful for led to students feeling better about their lives as a whole, and to the students having more optimism for the upcoming week. The study also found some evidence that gratitude journaling was linked to increased physical activity and improved sleep, results that are supported by more recent research as well. Proponents of gratitude argue that it's beneficial because it basically shifts your focus away from your negative emotions to focus on your healthy ones. When you're spending your time thinking about how grateful you are to your sister for making you soup while you're sick, you're not spending as much time thinking about how annoying it is that being sick means you can't spend time with your friends. That doesn't mean that feeling negative emotions is bad or that you should avoid it, but rather that maintaining a sense of gratitude about your life and the people around you can help you keep focused on the positive instead of dwelling on the negative. So essentially, it seems that when we feel grateful or when we express gratitude, our brains turn on areas that help us better empathize with others and feel more socially connected. Why does this happen at all? Why bother feeling gratitude? Well, we don't really have a clear idea. Like I said, this is a pretty new field. But if I had to guess, like so many things, I'd say it's probably evolutionarily advantageous in some way. It's not too hard to understand how that might be. Humans are super social creatures, and we've evolved to thrive in highly interconnected groups with a lot of social bonds to others around us. Gratitude is associated with relationship satisfaction and improved communication, as well as personal well-being and reduced stress. If an emotion feels good, we're inclined to seek it out again in the future. And maintaining a healthy sense of gratitude for the gifts and assistance we receive from others is good for maintaining a society. On a personal level, I totally believe that gratitude is good for me. While being grateful doesn't erase the challenges in my life, it helps me remember all of the ways in which I'm lucky to be where I am, and to acknowledge all of the people who have helped support me. It makes me a little less resentful and a little more resilient.
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.